being part of our Zainey fam. Today we have a makeup and a movie where I do my makeup
and I talk about a movie.
And today we are talking about
10 Things I Hate About You.
And we are using the Pixi It's Judy Time palette in order to create a spring look, which is also part of a collab I'm doing with my Geeks and Beauties group. So if you're interested in being a part of our group, make sure you look down below. We have everything down there so you can join. Before we start, make sure you don't miss any of our interactive opportunities. Like, subscribe, and if you're totally awesome, make sure you share our video. Follow us on social media. That's going to be right down here, so you'll see that below so you can follow us. And if you're a content creator, again, join us on Geeks and Beauties. Today, why don't you comment down below and tell us if you remember the first time you saw 10 Things I Hate About You and what was your favorite part about the movie. Or if you have tried this palette and you love it or don't love it, just tell me down below. Right?
Yep.
Okay, so let's just jump on in for this. I just got this palette probably a couple weeks ago after much complications. It was broken when I first got it, so I got a new one. This also has swatches on my Instagram if you're interested in seeing all of them. But what I'm going to be doing today is I'm basically going to be using this color right here because we are going to do a spring look. I'm going to use that as a base all over my eyes, and then I'm going to start working in some of these like peachy shadows like this one and this one into the crease for now. And while we talk about 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah, spring look, kind of sort of spring movie, because I mean that's pretty much what takes place in this movie. So, and it came out March 31st in 1999, which was springtime at that time, I guess.
So it was basically 18 years.
18 years.
Like right around this time of year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. That's crazy. Because it came out when I was a freshman in high school, and I remember seeing it at that time. Or no, yeah, I was a freshman in high school. So yeah. 10 Things I Hate About You. It's in case you haven't seen it, it's a comedy, high school comedy, romantic comedy. Basically a modernization of Taming the Shrew, one of Shakespeare's plays. And it was actually the first Shakespeare play I ever read or really knew anything about, other than like Romeo and Juliet, because Romeo and Juliet's so in pop culture that pretty much, I think if you ask even kids in like elementary school, you know, you list Shakespeare plays and they're gonna know Romeo and Juliet. So, but Taming the Shrew, we read that when I was in 7th grade.
Oh wow!
And I actually went and saw the play, and it was, oh no, I lied. I'm sorry. Before that was actually Midsummer Night's Dream. I actually did that. We read that one before.
I was in that in college, so, actually, yeah.
Actually, yeah. So it was the second one. But I loved Taming the Shrew because I remember when we went and saw it, it was a local like high school doing the production, and they were just so funny with it. It's such a physical comedy too. So if you ever have a chance to go see it, like as a play.
We went to see it at a semi-professional company down when I lived in I went to college. We went down to San Diego to see this smaller company, and it was a very small theater. And there's a certain part while he tames the shrew where they get locked in a kitchen, a dining room, and she throws food and dishes, and we're in the second row, and things are coming off the stage like into the audience, and it was kind of, and it said that in the program, please be careful because things will come off the stage, and we're like, really? So that's what I remember about the actual Taming of the Shrew. It was great. It's great.
Yeah. And so, yeah, they put it in the modern day, but not just a modern thing, it's also in high school. So, which is really, it works so well with it. Because in a way you think, you know, a lot of the things with the original play, some people kind of can say it's a bit misogynistic in ways with certain things that it does. Which, after kind of going back for this video, I kind of was going through a bit of like a synopsis of the play, and the way it ends, yeah, it's a little misogynistic.
It is, but what's funny is you got to remember back in Shakespeare time, the women were played by men.
True.
So
it's...
I don't know how to respond to that.
I don't either, Siri.
I did not know Siri was here. Siri's in the room. Hello.
Siri does not like that it's misogynistic.
I don't know how. Okay. Surprise guest, Siri. So yes, where was I? Oh yeah, so yeah, but yeah, so in the modernization, Kat, basically you take Katarina into Kat in the modern day, played by Julia Stiles, and you have her sister Bianca, who's still Bianca in the updated one, played by Larissa Oleynik, who I remembered at that time from when I was a kid. She was in The Secret Life of Alex Mack on Nickelodeon, which I was like a big fan of that show because it was kind of cool. It was like one of the first like actual kind of sort of superhero shows if you think about it, because she had superpowers in it. And then there was Joseph Gordon-Levitt playing Cameron, who in the original version, let me look at my notes, was Lucentio. And then you had, let's see who else was in there. There was, well, probably who I'm thinking she's thinking of, Allison Janney.
No, that's not what I'm thinking of, but yes, she's amazing and everything. Yeah. She's only in it for a very smart time, but she steals it.
Absolutely.
Steals it.
She's so good. And then she plays the guidance counselor. And then Andrew Keegan is, oh gosh. Joey, who is Hortensio in the original version.
Also
and
not
then,
what I'm thinking of.
No, Heath Ledger. No.
Moment of silence. My husband would be remiss if we did not have a moment of silence for Heath Ledger. And go. That's also not who I'm thinking of.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Heath Ledger, who played Patrick, who was Hortensio in the original version.
Too many Tensios.
Yeah, lots of Tensios.
Yeah.
So played that version, and then
David Krumholtz.
Oh, the dad?
No, David Krumholtz is the friend of Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, he's on Numbers.
He's on everything. He's on Numbers.
Yeah.
He was on, I don't know if you saw that movie with Natasha Lyonne about Beverly Hills.
Yeah, Slums of Beverly Hills. Yes. Yeah, he was like in all these like bit parts, especially at that time, like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
He's
but
hilarious.
He's great actor.
So funny. And then, let's see, so that's what you've got going in it, and it basically has Kat as this shrew. She's, you know, just against all, kind of like feminist and against all boys, and that's how she's coming off. She just like hates men and is just this modern woman kind of person. And Bianca, her younger sister, is complete opposite of it. She's a bit vapid, a bit shallow. She's into more about how she looks and comes across, and is getting hit on by like the pretty jock boy of the school, played by Andrew Keegan. So then that whole situation happens.
But she's not allowed to date because her dad is an OBGYN who delivers basically babies from pregnant girls, teenage girls all the time, and it's like, I don't want my daughters to end up like this, and rightly so. So he's like, nope, no one can date. Nope.
Yeah. Well, he says Bianca can't date until Kat dates first.
Because he knows Kat doesn't want to date.
Exactly. He's like, Kat's not going to ever date, so he's like, that's a good idea. And which, comparing it to the original, it's somewhat what happens where the father is like, well, I'm not going to marry my younger daughter until the older daughter gets married, which more just fits into kind of how at that time they were at that time.
Yeah, in that time period. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this kind of shimmery pale color, blend out, you can tell it's super heavy on this side, so I'm going to blend out both sides with this just to kind of even it out a little bit more, add some to the inner corner. Then I'm going to take this super beautiful like rosy metallic color, and I'm going to put that on the lids and then come back with like these two probably right in the middle of the lid just to kind of make it look like it's shimmery in the middle of it. And then once I'm done with that, I'm going to go in with my Kat Von D liquid liner.
Yep. And so Cameron, it was Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, he comes in and he starts falling for Bianca because she's a pretty girl and everything too. But he like swears, oh, I like her for her.
Oh,
so,
we forgot Gabrielle Union is in this too. She plays Bianca's friend, and some of the best like one-liners from this movie come from their conversations.
Yeah, because like basically their first line when they're kind of introduced is she's saying,
she says, I like my Skechers, but I love my Prada backpack. And the other girl says, well, I love my Skechers. And she goes, well, that's because you don't have a Prada backpack. Yeah. There's that one. And then there's one that's where she says, I know you can be overwhelmed and I know you can be underwhelmed, but can you ever just be whelmed? And the other one goes, I think you can in Europe.
Yeah.
I love it. It's like, really?
And there's so many like really funny, like snappy, like lines like that throughout the movie too that just kind of like bring it to another level other than just this like typical teen movie. So
yeah, definitely.
It's just so fun like that. And then so he comes in, he's going to try to date Bianca, but then he finds out of that whole deal when he's trying to tutor Bianca French. Which is funny because Joseph Gordon-Levitt actually speaks fluent French.
He does, but his character does not.
But he's like, oh yeah, I can tutor you. So he finds out about the deal where Bianca can't date until Kat does. So he teams up with his friend to get someone to date him, date Kat. But of course, everyone knows Kat is just like this, like really mean girl. No one wants to get near her. But then they find out about Patrick, who supposedly was like a felon and ate like a whole duck one time, everything except for the
Forgot about that.
except for the bill and the feet. So they're like, we're gonna get that guy, but he's like, whatever, I'm not gonna do anything for you. So they team up with a guy, the shallow guy played by Andrew Keegan, to pay Patrick to date Kat. So yeah.
No. Oh yeah. To pay Patrick to date Kat. Yeah.
Yeah. So it works all around in a weird way, just like kind of in the play, they kind of play each other to make this plot work for the one guy to date Bianca, or well, in the play, marry Bianca. So it's all over the place, but of course during the flow of the movie, Kat and Patrick start actually liking each other, and so that starts a whole thing, and it all leads up to prom. And everything kind of goes down at prom, everything's revealed and people get hurt and upset and things like that, of course.
Typical 90s movie.
Yep. But, so then it all culminates with Julia Stiles reading a poem in class to Patrick about 10 things I hate about you. And the poem, little trivia, is actually 14 things she hates about him. Not 10.
Not 10.
It was 14 things. So,
or none at all. If you go all the way
true.
to the end of the poem, it's none at all.
Yeah. So it's really good. It was a really great scene. In fact, I learned that they only filmed that scene once. It was one shot, and that was really her crying as you read it.
Probably really him crying too. He was super teared up on that one.
So it's a really, really great moment in the movie too. So if you haven't seen it, definitely see it. It's on Netflix right now. So check it out.
Yep.
So, and I think that and what else came out at that time? She's All That were like two kind of like high school movies that came out at that time that I felt like really kind of got that pop culture of the moment of how high school was.
Yeah, it was also kind of, even though Clueless came out earlier than those ones, Clueless kind of set the stage for taking classic literature and bumping it up to like a more modern 90s audience. So I think, and then that's from there they took Romeo and Juliet and, kind of morphed those to make it a little bit more accessible to people.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there was definitely that. There was Clueless, Romeo and Juliet came out, and then there was this, and then came out a little bit later based on Othello, which also had Andrew Keegan and Julia Stiles in it too.
Yeah.
And a couple other really great actors at the time. And that one, I've only seen it once. I saw it like a little bit after it came out.
Heavy.
Yeah, and I was just like, okay. I knew it'd be like serious because Othello is pretty serious. It's a drama, more of a comedy. So.
All right, let's talk about some weird things about this since I am almost done.
All right, wrapping up. All right, so some of the fun things that I found out about the movie. Let's see. So the screenwriter, she actually based the title of the play off of her ex-boyfriend. So that was actually something that she did, was get upset with her boyfriend and wrote 10 things I hate about you. So it's based off of that. And then Julia Stiles actually auditioned for Bianca for the movie. She actually wanted that role, but they ended up switching her up. And then, let's see, who else? Larissa Olenek, who played Bianca, actually went to Sarah Lawrence High School.
Oh, really?
College. And then the German dubbed version of the movie, Kat wants to go to Harvard because because they're not familiar with Sarah Lawrence College.
Mm-hmm.
And then the picture that Bianca finds in her sister's drawer is of Johnny Depp, not Jared Leto. I guess they didn't know. But they know who he is now through, you know, music and other things.
Exactly.
So there's those, and I want to say there was one more thing that I saw that was like, oh, so the band, Letters to Cleo, they do a song at the end of the movie up on the top of the high school, and at prom too, and they were at the that club that they go to.
Yes.
They
go under by a different name. Right?
Yeah. In the movie, they're a different name, but that's their real name, Letters to Cleo. So at the end of the movie, basically, it's this big helicopter shot of the town, and it goes towards the high school, and it swoops down towards them and off. And the band, they were told, okay, this is the only shot we're doing. It's $500,000 for this helicopter for it to take off and do this shot. So you have one time to do it. And they're just this like small town, like indie band. They're not like huge. So they're just like, oh my God, okay, so we're gonna do it. So they're out there, they're doing it. They see the helicopter coming and it swoops down towards them. And the lead singer, she's like, oh my God, is this crashing? What's happening? Just go, just don't mess it up. And it like, they were like scared. They like ducked like right as it went because they were like, okay, this is gonna be nuts.
And now Letters to Cleo is pretty popular.
Yeah,
I would say. I mean, not as popular as it was after this movie came out. People were clamoring for that song. I remember I Want You to Want Me was on the radio all the time by Letters to Cleo.
Version,
Yes.
And then they did Cruel to Be Kind earlier in the movie, which really, the Cruel to Be Kind was a play off of a line from Hamlet. Mm-hmm. So lots of Shakespeare thrown in there in different weird ways. So, yep.
Yeah. So, for 10 Things I Hate About You, in summary, I mean, as you can tell, I've seen this movie like a million times. And I feel like it's one of those that it's still like a cult classic, especially ever since Heath Ledger's passing. But it's got some phenomenal character actors. I mean, if you only watch the scene where Allison Janney does her principal stuff, it's only like 1 or 2 scenes. If you only watch those scenes in this movie, it's amazing. It's really...
Yeah, everyone is so good in it. Like, everyone's perfect and they work together so well. Yeah, I think that's what just is another thing that brings it up another level, that makes it so good. Is, you know, like you got the plot and then you got setting and then you got the actors that just bring so much to it and just really make it more than just a high school movie.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us today. Join us on Wednesdays, Fridays,
and sometimes Sundays.
Until then, stay zany.